Before we get started with the video today, guys, I want to let you viewers out there know that only a small fraction of you guys currently watching are actually subscribed to my channel, so make sure to smash that subscribe button for instant updates about videos that I release and other announcements, and also smash that like button to help my channel out. Enjoy the video. Yo, what is up guys? It is Samool here, back again with another Epic 7 YouTube video, and today I'm actually going to be talking about a topic that a lot of early game players and mid game players get confused on, and that topic is going to be when the heck do you start using Skystones for energy. Now, if you guys didn't know already, if you click the energy tab, you have the choice of using the leaves that you have for energy and also Skystones. And usually what everyone does early game is they're like, oh, Skystones are used for summoning, I'm only going to use my leaves and hold on to Skystones. Now that idea is correct and not correct. So for early game players, I do agree with the fact that you do want to save your Skystones, mostly because you don't have all the units in the game, right? Not even close. So you really want to be prepared for good units to come out, because you never know when a string of good banners will come out. Like right now, right? We had Vivian and Lilius, now we're going into Tamarin banner, and then it's going to be Landy and then Luna. So there's going to be a lot of good units that you want to pull for, and especially as a new player, guys, you really want to avoid spending your Skystones for energy, because there's a lot of decent units coming out, right? Like if you have Tamarin, right? If you don't have Tamarin, I mean, you really want to be able to pull her, right? And then next week there's Landy, who's a must pull as well. So you really want to make sure you have your Skystones to be able to re-roll the secret chop for Skystones and Mystic Metals.
I'll see you later.
Now, for mid-game players and late-game players, though, that's where it gets to the point where you might want to consider it. So for mid-game players, I would only consider spending Skystones for energy if you have the following checklist, completed. So my checklist for players, and when they ask me if they should spend, their Skystones for energy, is going to be, do you have your hunt teams ready? And by hunt teams, what I mean by that is Wyvern team, right? You definitely want your Wyvern team running. If you don't have your Wyvern team running, do not spend Skystones. A lot of new players like to spend Skystones while trying to build their Wyvern 13 team because they ran out of leaves. And they're like, oh, well, I really would just want to get to Wyvern. It's not worth it, guys. Take your time with Wyvern. Early game, you just want every single drop of Skystones that you can get, because you really need to summon, guys, and get these new or even like old heroes that are very strong for PvE and PvP. But yeah, like I was saying, guys, you really want your Wyvern hunt team done, obviously. Golem, you don't really care too much about, because the sets from it are not that great for both PvE and PvP. You want your Banshee team running, whether it be one-shot or normal, although I really recommend running the one-shot version. The normal runs take way too long. And you also want your Asmonak hunt team running for the rage set and immunity sets, and Katie's you don't care about as well. Katie's is more of a late game only hunt. It's very niche, but it's actually pretty good late game. But don't worry about it at all till you hit that late game point where you're doing RT and stuff. So yeah, make sure you have Wyvern, Banshee, and Asmonak on farm. They will drop the most important sets that you need. Wyvern dropping speed, Banshee dropping counter and lifesteal, and Asmonak dropping immunity and rage. If you have all these 3 hunts on farm, you can literally just farm those for the rest of the game. You don't have to worry about Golem and Katie's at all, and you'll be able to gear everything for every source of content. Golem and Katie's hunt are not required at all for anything. Their sets are okay, but either very niche or just not required at all. So you want to make sure you have your hunt teams ready. And also you want to make sure you have Labyrinth on farm, guys. If you don't have Hell Raid on farm, then I don't really suggest using your Skystones for energy, because that usually indicates to me that you don't have enough units to be able to kill all the bosses. So you really want to make sure you have Hell Raid on farm, because Hell Raid also drops a lot of good gear and very good source of galaxy bookmarks as well if you guys really like Moonlight summoning. So make sure you have your raid team done as well. Alongside that, you also want to make sure you're pretty decently high in Abyss. Now, I know I'm not considered high in Abyss for where I'm at in the game, but I just really hate Abyss, so I don't really do it that much. But it is the free unequip event, so I might do it this time, if not next time. And by high in Abyss, I'm gonna say at least like 490-ish. Ideally, you want to get to at least 100 in my opinion, because you get the free lifesteal set, which is actually pretty good on a lot of units. Actually, like Caesarado can use it well. Any bruiser can actually use as well, because the subs are actually pretty decent, and no matter how it rolls, it's always usable. So I'd say like get at least like 400 if you can, or 490, and then you can start thinking about to use Skystones for energy, because Abyss is mostly like a unit check, to be honest. It is a gear check as well, but it's not like intense. It's mostly about the units that you have. Also, with being high in Abyss, guys, you actually want a decent pool of units, like I was saying. So for me, right? Like I think I have about like 80% of the units in the game, and I have like 56 stars or something. But you'll see like a lot of them are not geared. So I have like Lilia's not geared, right? What else do I not have geared? Angelica's not geared. Miui's not geared, even though I loved her a lot. Lencia's not geared, even though I love her, right? So you'll come to a point in the game where you'll start outpacing the units that you get with how many units you can gear. And what I mean by that is you'll start pulling way too fast for your gear to catch up, and that's like a point where you want to think about if you should start using Skystones for energy. But a lot of early game and mid game players don't have like a good foundation of units or a good roster of units to tackle everything. And if that's the case, guys, you just want to save it. Save your Skystones, just pull for your units. Once you have your base core of units all like added up, like I'd say like you want like at least 2 elements for every role. So I have like two fire bruisers, 2 fire tanks, right? Like 2 ice bruisers, 2 ice knights, 2 ice soul weavers, right? 2 ice DPS and stuff like that. That's when your roster is flexible enough where you can start considering to buy energy with Skystones, because you really want a flexible roster, because once you start spending Skystones for energy, guys, it's going to be a lot harder to pull on certain banners. And going into that topic, guys, if you do decide to use your Skystones for energy, guys, you really want to make sure you have enough for at least 1 pity. Now, some people like to do 2 pities, some people like to do 1 pity because sometimes a new unit will come out right after limited. I personally do 1 pity because I do keep like a reservoir of Skystones, if that makes sense, like a storage. I try not to dip below 5k, but obviously I'm struggling to do that because I'm rolling the shop a lot. Because you really want to be prepared for limiteds to come out at random times, because Smilegate, although they usually release limiteds once a year in the same month, every single year, sometimes like this month they release units early and you kind of get screwed over, right? Like Tamarind banner, right? Lantine banner and then Luna banner right after Vivian and Lili's banner. It's like really bad for mid game and new players because you have to spend so many bookmarks and you probably don't have enough to pull them all. So you have to kind of prepare for situations like this to happen, especially if you are planning to use Skystones for energy and you're lacking a lot of limited units. Then you want to have probably 2 2 pities saved up in case that happens. But at the very least, you want at least 1 saved up, because a new unit can always come out. It's also the start of episode 4 soon, so there'll be a lot of units coming out in the future. So just be prepared, guys, and make sure you have a pity saved up in case that does happen. Now, in terms of if you have all this checklist done and then you decide you can start using Skystones for energy, guys, don't use it all the time, okay? So you only ever want to use Skystones for energy during hunt event days, unless you're like a super giga whale Leviathan Poseidon type of person, right? And you're just dumping money in the game and you're constantly running epic 7. I don't really recommend spending your Skystones for energy on just normal days. You want to use it on the hunt buff days where you have increased mats and increased gold from hunts. That way you're getting the most value out of your Skystones. The adventure event buff where you get bonus AP, in my opinion, is not that worth. I think the Spirit Altar's okay, but primarily, guys, you only want to use Skystones for energy during hunt event days unless you're a super Omega whale, okay? For me, personally, since I have a lot of the units already, and I can pretty much do everything in PvE, and, I need to gear my units fast because I do have a lot of units sitting on the bench because I can't gear them. I actually spend Skystones on energy a lot, but only on hunt event days. Most people are going to agree with me, unless you're like a super whale, you don't want to use it outside of them because it's just not worth it, right? Skystones are a precious resource at the end of the day, so you want to make sure you maximize the value out of it. Also, while you're doing hunt events and you're spending your Skystones for energy, just keep in mind you're also getting bookmarks and mystic drops, so even though you're not purchasing it from the store, you technically are getting some over time, although it's not even close to the amount you get from the store, obviously, from re-rolling. But keep in mind, you're still going to be gaining bookmarks and mystic medals, so it's pretty, it's a pretty nice bonus. But yeah, in general, guys, just to summarize, if you have all your PvE teams running and you have a decent roster of units, and you're getting to the point in the game where you're realizing you can't keep up with gear for all the units you have, and then you also have a pity saved up for limited heroes that come out or new heroes that come out, then you want to start using your Skystones for energy for the gear. Now, you don't have to if you don't want to. This is just what I recommend. A lot of people actually don't spend Skystones for energy at all, ever, even if they're late game. And that's your choice, guys. A lot of people just want to prepare for multiple banners to come out, which is fine. But if you really want to get into PvP, especially high-end PvP, you really want to start spending it for energy because that's how you get the gear to actually compete. But if you're just playing the game as like a collector for waifus and stuff like that, then it's fine. You don't have to spend your Skystones for energy at all. It's definitely just what you want to do. And if you're here just to pull units that look, waifu or husbando, right? That's up to you, right? That's on you. Everyone has their own way to play the game. And if that's how you want to play, You want to save all your Skystones then, obviously, and pull for everything, right? Okay, that's just my opinion, guys. And if you do decide to use Skystones for energy, make sure you only use it on hunt event days. You want that bonus hunt rate up and use it on hunts exclusively with your leafs, and it's okay on Spirit Altar days as well. That's pretty much it for my recommendation for how to spend Skystones for energy, guys. I really hope this video helped you out, and it helps you realize, you know, if you should start using it for energy or not. And as always, leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next video. Peace.